What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Want to talk about this hot topic. Gennady, Triple G, no, Max, yeah, right. Golovin versus David Lemieux is allegedly in talks for this fall in October. Now, I'm going to give it my uncut, unadulterated thoughts. Now, if you follow my channel and you've watched my videos, I'm in 100% agreement and support of this fight. I made a video a while ago. I think it was before the Hassan Indam win for David Lemieux. And I was playing matchmaker like I tend to do on my channel, Ego Matchmakers. And I said this would be a dream match for this year. I said it's one of the greatest fights that they can make for the remainder of 2015. So I 100% like the fight. Now, that out of the way, I do not think this will happen this fall. And let me tell you, I don't think it's because of K2 Promotions, Team Golovin, or Gennady Golovin himself. I think it's because of Oscar De La Hoya. Now, Triple G and his team have been on record saying they want to unify the middleweight division. I have no problem. I don't think a guy like Rigondeaux or Triple G should have to be forced to vacate the division they want to unify because champions won't fight them. That, to me, is not fair. However, the difference being between a Rigondeaux and a Triple G is, in my opinion, Rigondeaux with like 15 fights has at least a Donaire fight, a Joseph Igbeko. So he has two names that per his division mean more than, in my opinion, a lot of guys. Like, who does Triple G have on his resume right now that is a Donaire? What Donaire was to 122 when Rigondeaux beat him. Donaire had beat previous champions, former champions, current champions, moved through weight classes, knockout power, speed, right? He had not lost since early on in his professional career, right after he turned pro, and he was undefeated for 11 years after that first initial loss. So to me, I'm not saying Triple G can't beat these guys, but I can't give someone credit for something that does or has not happened, period. That's how it goes. You know what I mean? Seeing is proving. And I think I already made videos about this. I said no one beats Triple G at middleweight. That being said, if you are unable to unify the division because people are avoiding you, their promotional politics, whatever the situation is, like Al Heyman and Peter Quillen, you can't do business with them and the HBO Showtime PBC thing, I get it. But Golovin being 34, I think he needs to fight a credible name. And again, I understand they try to make Carl Froch fights and he retired and all kinds of stuff like that. But again, that does not change the harsh reality of me as a boxing fan. I have high hopes for Triple G, but I still have to see it. So I don't have any doubt in my mind that any 160-pounder, Team Golovin is pretty much down to face, period. I think they feel they're the best at middleweight. But if you cannot unify, then maybe you should consider an Andre Ward fight. Maybe you should consider taking Erislandy Laura's challenge, who's willing to move up, because again, it's a bigger name. Laura, any way you slice it, is a bigger name than Willie Monroe, and it's a bigger name than a guy like Adama, Ashita. Ashita's claim to fame is beating James Kirkland, period. And that was at 54. And James Kirkland is known as more or less a loose cannon. So Laura's done a lot more. Laura at least had a pay-per-view. Ashita, to my knowledge, has never been on American pay-per-view. Laura at least has that, fighting Canelo. You know what I'm saying? So those two options, I have no problem with that if you cannot get the fights you want. Now, this is the thing. Triple G, again, I think him and his team are very confident that they're the best at 160. I just don't want to see the waiting around game. And I mean, I don't want to see like a Triple G versus Highland. David Lemieux, I'm okay with that fight because David Lemieux has two great performances. His last fights with Gabe Rosado, ended up getting a stoppage, badly hurt Hassan Indam, and became an IBF champion, the vacant belt. So if that fight can happen, I'm okay with that. I just don't want to see a backtrack. Like, I don't want to see someone ranked less than like a Willie Monroe. That's a backtrack, just to stay busy fight. I mean, Golovin, to be honest, he's fought 3 to 4 times a year, and none of those guys were the top tier for whatever reason, right? So I really think Triple G's team wants to fight with David Lemieux. I just want to see that caliber fight or better. And obviously Canelo Cotto is down to the venue, they're reporting, in terms of that fight being made. And from what I hear, Triple G is the mandatory, and he was paid some step aside money. I don't know if he's actually got the check or the money yet, but a deal was supposed to be reached for him to step aside to face the winner of that fight. So in my opinion, I think the Ward fight is a long shot. I would love that fight, but I think it's a long shot because you could stay put in your division, right, and potentially fight the winner of that, which is style-wise more up Triple G's alley. You know what I mean? Andre Ward has made tons of guys look bad, in my opinion, based on how crafty he is, and you would be moving up 8 divisions. So I really don't know that Triple G's team want to move up for that type of fight. Carl Froch, I think they were down to do that because Carl Froch's style would suit them better. A guy who's in front of you, not as defensive, and, you know what I mean, calculating. Froch is a good fighter, don't get me wrong, but he's not what Andre Ward is. That's why Andre Ward beat him, even with the fractured hand. But anyway, back to Triple G versus David Lemieux. It's a great fight. I don't think Oscar De La Hoya is going to have it because David Lemieux is one of his only remaining stars. He has Canelo, he has Lucas Matisse, Mauricio Herrera, and David Lemieux. And David Lemieux is a ladies' man. Like, a lot of girls like him. He's a clean-cut dude. And that might not mean anything to me and you as boxing fans, but it does mean something to women who might buy tickets or might be more inclined to go because they like the dude. It's just like, I don't want to see Magic Mike 1 or 2, you know what I mean? But females do. So that's why I bring that up with David Lemieux. Clean-cut dude, and he's a champion. So it's a great fight, and I'm very much in support of this fight. I would easily favor Triple G, and if that fight does come into fruition and I am wrong, which I have been wrong before, don't think I'll be wrong. I don't think this fight will happen next for either fighter. And again, I think it's because of the Golden Boy side. But if I am wrong and the fight happens, just a preview, I'll do an actual prediction. But the reason I would favor Triple G, he's too good with his offensive skills, his punch placement, his accuracy. To me, he showed a sturdier beard, a better chin than David Lemieux. David Lemieux looked like he got hurt by Hassan Indam. To me, Triple G is a different type of beast at middleweight. Triple G, I think, would have stopped Hassan Indam. You know what I mean? And that's not a diss to Indam. I think Indam can beat guys at middleweight still. But that type of pressure, that type of offense, I think Triple G would have stopped him. David Lemieux hurt him bad, knocked him down multiple times, just like Quillin. I think David Lemieux knocked him down 2 times shy of what Quillin did, right? But he wasn't able to stop him. Neither was Quillin. I think Golovin would have stopped him because the amount of pressure he applies for fighters, it just becomes too overwhelming and too much. And, I mean, both guys can crack. That's why it's a good fight. The reason, even though I'm picking Triple G, I would easily pick Triple G. I think he has better stamina, too. His body work. I think he'll just hold up better. Bottom line, he'll hold up better against another puncher. But the reason I would really love to see the fight is because when you're dealing with a puncher, anything can happen. And you have 2 offensive fighters with dynamite in their gloves, then anything can happen. So that's why I would want to see the fight, because I could be wrong just for that simple fact. Sometimes when you get guys with this much power, it's simply a matter of who lands first. But all in all, I think Triple G is the more complete offensive fighter. David Lemieux at times seems fatiguey, like where he has dry spells of fatigue. And I never really seen professionally Triple G get a guy hurt as bad as David Lemieux got Hassan Indam hurt and not be able to pull the trigger and finish him off. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's one thing if he never hurt him to begin with, but to have him hurt that bad and knocked down 4 times, usually Triple G is a better finisher than that. So I would easily favor Triple G. Hopefully the fight happens. Hopefully I am wrong, because I would love the fight. They're talking about making it on the East Coast, Madison Square Garden. I mean, I would even like to fly out from California to see that, if they can make it happen. I'm not trying to be a bearer of bad news. I don't think it will happen, and I don't think it's because of Team Golovin. That is my honest opinion. Great fight, though. Let me know what you guys think. Make sure you like my video as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video, it's Ego signing off.